Beneath the cheerful staff members, elaborate dining spreads, and theatrical entertainment lies a completely separate realm that travelers are never permitted to witness. This hidden world contains mysteries that shipping companies prefer to keep concealed. From concealed surveillance devices to manipulated gambling halls, even experienced cruisers are stunned upon discovering the reality of what occurs beneath the surface. Without proper awareness, any of these hidden truths could silently destroy your entire getaway before you realize what's happening. This presentation will explore 9 cruise liner mysteries that only former employees have the courage to expose. Regardless of whether you're organizing your initial voyage or you're an experienced passenger who believes they understand everything, the information you'll discover may permanently alter your approach to cruising. We'll examine everything from sleeping quarters that staff would refuse to occupy, to surveillance methods you're unaware of, plus the reality concerning those appealing excursions that appear suspiciously flawless. However, don't be concerned, it's not entirely negative news. We'll conclude with one uplifting explanation why ex-employees claim cruising remains worthwhile and why numerous individuals would repeat the experience. Therefore, collect your travel documents and let's explore the cruise experience they never display in promotional materials. Secret 1. Rigged casino games. You may believe you're entering a floating equivalent of Las Vegas, but former cruise employees advise reconsidering that assumption. A card dealer admitted that the probabilities on cruise vessel gaming machines are frequently inferior to those found at deteriorating service stations, particularly when sailing in international territory. Unlike Vegas, where gambling establishments face strict regulation to the smallest detail, cruise companies function under more lenient ocean-based legislation permitting them to modify payout rates without notification. A previous casino employee disclosed that machines could be remotely modified to reduce winnings when vessels needed to meet financial goals, typically following major promotions or fortunate winning periods. What's the significance? Thousands of travelers enter cruise gambling areas nightly believing they're receiving fair opportunities. However, the reality shows the establishment's benefit exceeds expectations. Certainly, occasional jackpot winners exist, but genuine profits originate from returning players who continuously operate machines, unknowing they're competing against more difficult chances than at home. If you've questioned why cruise vessel casinos don't always publicize their payout statistics, the explanation is now clear. Here's the solution. When gambling, consider it entertainment rather than a financial plan. Establish firm boundaries. Choose lower-risk table games where probabilities are more calculable and completely avoid slot machines unless you accept losing that money for enjoyment. If you find that surprising, wait until you learn what staff discovers about you before initial contact. It's somewhat unsettling. Secret 2. Passenger tracking and profiling. Do you consider yourself just another unidentified person among many? Reconsider that thought. Previous cruise personnel have disclosed that employees frequently possess much more knowledge about you than anticipated, beginning the instant you reserve your journey. Each time you use your cruise card, the system records everything: your spending, your meal choices, even which ship areas you frequent most. A former drink server mentioned receiving instructions to memorize names and beverage preferences of high-spending travelers before the first evening commenced. That's not genuine hospitality, that's calculated planning. There's even something called traveler categorization. Staff receive training to notice behaviors suggesting high spending likelihood, complaint probability, or potential for creating onboard difficulties. This information gets discreetly shared between departments, from gambling areas to wellness centers to customer service. Consequently, you receive personalized treatment without awareness. Some employees even admitted maintaining private records about passengers who behaved rudely, demandingly, or overly flirtatiously, alerting colleagues behind the scenes to avoid or approach carefully. Why is this important? While this intense attention sometimes enhances your experience, it also means you're never completely unmonitored. If you lodge complaints or experience problems, they may already be influenced by an unofficial reputation you didn't know existed. Want to maintain positive standing with cruise staff? Show politeness, provide appropriate gratuities, and don't undervalue how minor courtesies create significant impact. You never know when that consideration might result in unexpected room improvements or preferential treatment. Next, what if we revealed that not everything on your dish was prepared fresh or even recently? Prepare for revelation. Secret 3. Pre-processed food. That elaborate buffet may appear crafted by exceptional chefs working continuously, but previous cruise kitchen personnel claim the reality involves much more processing. One former line cook confessed that approximately 60% of served food, especially at buffets and in-room dining, arrives pre-prepared, vacuum-packaged, or frozen. While presentation appears refined, much food receives mass preparation onshore weeks beforehand, gets stored in enormous walk-in freezers, then gets reheated or enhanced to appear cruise quality. That lobster tail might have been completely frozen just hours before reaching your plate. To be honest, this isn't solely about reducing expenses. Cruise vessels feed thousands of individuals 3 to 5 times daily in restricted space with strict scheduling. Therefore, efficiency is crucial. However, it also means not everything appears as gourmet as presented. Employees particularly warn about items like buffet scrambled eggs, which often come from powder or liquid containers, and pastries that are pre-baked, frozen, then warmed daily. What's your solution? Eat more intelligently. Choose specialty on-board restaurants where chefs prepare food more freshly. Seek stations offering made-to-order items like omelets, stir-fry, or pasta bars. These provide your best opportunity for fresher ingredients and superior taste. If that food revelation disturbed you, wait until you hear what occurs when items disappear on board. And surprisingly, passengers don't always receive blame. Secret 4. Theft cover-ups. You might expect that if something vanishes on a cruise vessel, perhaps your wallet, jewelry, or luggage, security would respond like a crime investigation team and begin thorough examination. However, according to former staff members, that typically doesn't happen. One previous security officer confessed that unless incidents are serious or violent, most passenger theft gets handled quietly and often concealed.
Why?
Because cruise companies obsess over protecting their reputation. Public scandals or loud accusations could disturb onboard atmosphere and harm future reservations. Frequently, passengers report stolen items and receive quiet advice to double-check their cabins or submit claims later through travel insurance. If missing items aren't highly valuable or no obvious suspects appear on surveillance, issues often disappear behind the scenes. Some employees have admitted knowing problematic passengers who regularly create drama or falsely report items seeking compensation or benefits. That makes identifying genuine cases harder and allows minor thieves to escape notice. How do you protect yourself? Use in-room safes for valuable items. Don't leave bags unattended in public areas and avoid displaying expensive items like watches, cameras, or luxury handbags. Here's advice most new cruisers don't know. Photograph your suitcase contents before boarding. If something disappears, you'll possess proof for your claim. Next, some excursions are not only overpriced but occasionally dangerous. Let's discuss what former staff wish every passenger understood before departing the ship. Secret 5. Dangerous excursions. You exit the vessel excited for island adventures, perhaps ziplining through jungles, swimming with dolphins, or exploring historical ruins. However, behind attractive brochures and smiling guides exists an excursion aspect that former staff say passengers rarely witness. One excursion coordinator shared that not all excursions receive equal examination, and some approved vendors possess questionable safety records or have reduced quality to save money. Actually, several operate without complete insurance or trained personnel, especially in developing nations where regulations are relaxed. Even worse, not all excursions are operated by cruise lines themselves. Many get outsourced to third-party vendors, meaning if problems occur, like injuries or getting abandoned, cruise companies might avoid responsibility. One former assistant cruise director remembered an incident where a passenger slipped on an unmarked trail during jungle touring. Staff quietly refunded the ticket but made no public acknowledgement, and the passenger handled medical expenses independently. What's the safer choice? Choose excursions booked directly through cruise lines when possible, and always read online reviews before confirming. Ask if vendors carry liability insurance, and don't hesitate to decline anything appearing disorganized or hurried. Also, consider planning your own day if visiting safe, walkable ports. Sometimes, a self-directed beach day is cheaper, calmer, and safer than chaotic excursions. Coming next, want to understand why your cruise card occasionally stops functioning at precisely the wrong moment? There's a hidden system behind that too. Secret 6. Cruise card surveillance. That small plastic cruise card you carry around isn't just for opening cabin doors or purchasing drinks. According to former cruise personnel, it's actually a powerful monitoring device that tracks almost everything you do on board and even off the vessel. Every time you tap it for purchases, use it at casinos, scan it when leaving or returning to the ship, or book services, it records data into a central system. That system informs crew who's spending money, who's consistently late from excursions, and even who's creating problems. One former guest services representative shared that during one cruise, they identified a passenger making excessive complaints, leaving unpaid bar bills, and skipping scheduled payments for onboard services. All this information was instantly retrieved from their cruise card history and shared among various departments without guest knowledge. Some high spenders receive extra benefits without requesting them, while others might find accounts quietly restricted, limiting what they can book or purchase. Why does this matter? Because cruise cards aren't just about convenience. They influence how the ship perceives you. Whether you're viewed as a VIP or potential problem affects your treatment, perk access, and even crew interactions. So here's the intelligent approach. Treat your cruise card like a digital passport. Be respectful with it. Monitor your own spending using cruise apps or guest services. If something seems wrong, like being blocked from services, don't hesitate to inquire why. Next, we're going below deck to reveal what life is actually like for crew members. And trust us, it's not the paradise you envision. Secret 7. Crew living conditions. You might imagine the crew relaxing in comfortable lounges or enjoying their own paradise slice after shifts. But former cruise workers describe a very different scenario. Beneath the gleaming decks where guests enjoy cocktails and lounge by pools, crew lives in tight windowless cabins, often with barely enough space to move. One former crew member described sharing a shoebox-sized cabin with 3 others, rotating sleep schedules like submarine crew just to manage. Crew quarters typically occupy the ship's lowest decks, areas passengers never see. There's no ocean view, limited privacy, and long exhausting hours. Most work 10 to 14 hours daily, 7 days weekly, with contracts lasting 6 to 9 months continuously. While some cruise lines provide adequate food and basic entertainment, others reduce quality. One bartender recalled nights coming off 12-hour shifts to cold meals and broken air conditioning in shared cabins. Why mention this? Because understanding crew experiences affects how you treat them. These people clean your rooms, serve your food, maintain ship cleanliness, and do everything with smiles, even when they haven't seen daylight for days. Want to cruise more intelligently? Tip generously, express gratitude, show patience. The best passengers are those crew remember and often reward with extra kindness. While some secrets exist below deck, others hide in plain sight, especially regarding the ship's complimentary benefits. Let's examine that next. Secret 8. Hidden costs of free perks. Complimentary champagne at art auctions, free spa consultations, exclusive cocktail tastings at no charge. Sounds wonderful, right? But former cruise employees say these freebies often include hidden conditions, all part of psychological strategy. One entertainment staff member revealed that most free onboard benefits are strategically designed to get you inside so you'll feel pressured to purchase something. Whether it's overpriced art, spa upgrades, or specialty wine packages, the objective is simple: convert curiosity into commissions. At art auctions, for example, guests are attracted with bubbly, given exciting auctioneer performances, and often surprised by high-pressure sales tactics. One couple reportedly left with a $9,000 painting they considered just a fun souvenir, only to regret it upon returning home. In spas, free consultations often get used to upsell detox wraps, anti-aging creams, or even questionable weight loss programs. Those drink samplings often include hard pushes to buy full bottles, which can cost triple land prices. How do you protect yourself? Enjoy benefits but set mental limits. Accept champagne, sit through pitches, but don't feel guilty walking away. Remember, you're not being rude, you're being smart. Now let's conclude with something lighter, because not everything the crew reveals is dark. Sometimes it's just fun insider knowledge. Secret 9. Hidden ship areas and secret spots. While passengers crowd buffets, hunt for available loungers, or wait in show lines, former cruise workers say ships have hidden gems most guests never discover. These are quiet lounges tucked behind art galleries, scenic decks only accessible from side stairwells, and secret viewing spots crew whisper about among themselves. One ex-entertainment host shared that her favorite sunset watching location wasn't the top deck. It was a nearly empty area near the helipad that only few curious passengers ever found. Then there are quiet library corners or observation lounges where you can sip coffee and read without interruption. No loud music, No running children. Some ships even have backdoor routes to buffets or pools that skip crowds entirely if you know where to look. Former crew members often befriend regular cruisers who explore and stumble upon these spots. Once you know, it transforms your entire trip experience. Want to find them? Here's the method: befriend the crew. Bartenders, entertainment staff, and room stewards love sharing little-known tips with friendly guests. Ask politely, and you might receive inside information on where to catch quiet sunrises or secret spots with the best sail-away views. Now that you've witnessed the hidden truth behind cruise life, you're better positioned than most to cruise intelligently. Stay relaxed and enjoy benefits without falling for traps. If you made it this far, type "cruise secrets" in comments to let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you're always one step ahead on your next trip. Here's to sailing smarter, treating crew kinder, and making your next cruise your best one yet. See you on board.